So just join it. And recorded. Okay. Mute myself. Your audio is on. Your audio is muted. Video is muted. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Here. All right, I'm logging into one of my Google Ads because you guys don't have that created. It takes a little bit of more time than I have right now to create one from scratch. I would walk you through every step, but I just want you to take some notes on this and also see some stuff. So I'm going to actually go into a garage makeover company that I work with. Okay. So, and I don't think I've done the smart campaigns for these guys yet because I actually took this over, but the structure is not bad. So, all right, many of the same things that apply to a smart campaign apply to an advanced campaign, but also there are many differences. So in the broad overview scheme of success is based on your settings in the first place, and also now there's actually a little hierarchical structure. There's like a nesting egg. If you've ever run a Facebook ad, you know that they have like a campaign basically, then they have like a set, they call them like an ad set or something, and then they have like the actual ad itself. And at each of the three nested levels, there's different options. Well, it's a little more complicated with smart campaigns because Google also wants to get more people clicking, and they give you a few more options as well. So let me dive into all of them for you. One of my favorite things to do here is just view all the campaigns, right? So in this case, we chose to only go with 2 campaigns, one for their brand name, because we were finding if we nested it under something else, we'd run out of budget for people searching the brand name and our competitors would show up more, right? So we wanted basically infinite budget on brand name, limited budget on all other products or services. I'm not saying this is the only way to set it up. I've set up lots different ways, but I don't like having too many things nested under one spot, because even in Facebook, the problem will be is you might have a great ad, but it never ran because all of your other ads were eating everything up. Or like in the more common case for my guys lately, they'll ask me really hard questions like, how much money did I spend in Phoenix on this one product, garage flooring? And I'll be like, shoot, I have everything all nested together. You spent $1,000. And they're like, but how much in Phoenix did you spend? I'm like, you spent, and then I have to like dig deep, and then I might have to add up stuff. So like my favorite structure actually would be like, I would have a campaign for Mesa, a campaign for certain parts of Phoenix or whatever. And then that would be the campaign level. And then underneath it, I would have like a product or service. So I would have or here's another better way to look at it. What's something that people call differently all the time? Like soda. To make, yeah, soda or pop.
And then there's a bunch of other weird names too. Like
and then there's specific pop, like grape soda.
Or purple drink.
Yeah.
Coke, Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
Things like that.
Herein lies the biggest mistakes people make between campaigns and ad groups and keywords and ads. Okay. The number one mistake really lies in the fact that you did not understand that when somebody searched grape soda, they wanted to see an ad that said grape soda. They want to land on a page that says grape soda. They want an offer for grape soda on that page. And they want it to be so simple that they can get their grape soda ASAP, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you say grape pop, everything is broken, okay? Everything gets effed up. And the way you see that is people aren't clicking your ads, or when they land on your landing page, they aren't actually buying or filling out the form or converting, okay? So that, remember that big long chain that we looked at? That got all messed up. You know it's messed up because at the end you got no results or very little, or your ratio is crap. But you could also break it down and be like, nobody clicked on the ad, or they clicked on my ad, but they didn't actually do the next step.
So where does it stop? kind of thing. Then you can be like, all right, that's where it needs to be fixed.
That's where it needs to be fixed. But once again, we're talking about campaign structure, and this is how people F up every time. In Google's mind, a campaign is one thing to be sold with different flavors. Okay, so you are selling grape soda with the 30 different names of grape soda. And if you mention orange soda, Google will come over there and chop your head off. Okay, like that's how bad they'll hurt you, right? For
Yeah.
me, I'm a little more flexible. I don't care about the gospel according to Google. For me, a campaign most often for my local clients is more like a local area I'm targeting, and ad sets are more like the flavors of products and the ways in which people search those products. And I might have multiple options, but there are negative consequences to doing it that way. But the biggest pro is all my ads are going to say Mesa in the ad,
Mhm.
right? And I'm going to get more clicks, and then I'm going to send them to a web page that says Mesa. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the end, I'm going to get more clicks, more people are going to land on the page, and more people are going to buy. And I can work around Google's pissed off. Okay. For the longest time, Google didn't let me share budget between campaigns, and Facebook doesn't do that at all. Okay. But Google will let you share budget, because at the end of the day, Lucas has to tell his client, yes, I will only spend 500 of your dollars.
Yeah.
And he's already, his mind's already spinning, because he's like, shit, I've got, sorry, I've got 2 locations. I've got 2 smart campaigns, and now I got to have some advanced campaigns, and they can't spend more than the budget the client gave me, but each of them has to have dedicated budget, and they could not spend all their money, or they could spend it all, and then I could be up a creek if I over budget. And there's no way to share budget between a smart campaign and an advanced campaign. You can only share budget between advanced, and smart are all off on their own little plans.
Yeah, so they have to do their own limited budget.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
each.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, but Google does let you share budget. But once again,
But
there's
it's
some
just with
negatives
the
to that. You
advanced.
don't want big ass location targeted with little ass budget.
Yeah.
Google always punishes you for that. Somehow it just doesn't work out so great.
That's unfortunate, for places like Montana.
Well, there's less people looking, so big ass targeting
We'll
with
go
little
further.
budget is going to still work.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Right.
I was
It's
was
based off of,
wondering that, but that's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah,
Okay, so all right, so now with way too much backstory, let's dive in. So brand is going to be the simplest one to look at. Why is this so dim?
so me,
Do you just
Make the little
I think
thing on
it's
the
me.
left going. Make the thing on the left going.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so make the thing on the left going. You're right.
there
Hey,
you
good job.
go.
All right, so you've got a campaign, and it's kind of confusing. You got a campaign, then you got ad sets. I don't think I actually clicked on campaign. Did I? Yeah, I clicked on campaign. That's an ad set. Okay. So my campaign, where is it? Right here. So if this was bigger, you could see my campaign is brand campaign, and my ad set is Wicked Workshops, I guess. And then my keywords. So this is the 3 levels of nesting. My keywords are Wicked Workshops, because that's the brand name of the company, right? So we're basically 3 levels in once we clicked in keywords. They don't make it very clear that you're nested 3 levels in. So that can be a real pain in the butt. So let's
So
go back to
repeat
all
that, you
campaigns.
nested 3 levels in, or from campaigns to
Yeah,
brand.
this
and
is
to
easier than campaigns, right?
brands.
Campaigns, and then I should be able to see them right here, right? And then I click on brand,
Brand.
and then I should see ad groups. Okay. I don't know why I have multiple brand ad groups. Oh, they used to own several other brands. Okay. And then the keywords. So now this is a little easier to see. Campaigns is off screen. Then you got ad sets that's now off screen. And then now you have keywords. Okay. So we're basically saying when somebody searches our name, show them an ad. Okay. So this is an ad. Or oops, I said landing page. Sorry. This is an ad. makes sense. We say Wicked Workshops because they search the word Wicked Workshops. When we click on the page, it goes to a page on their homepage that says Wicked Workshops. It's their homepage, right? Okay, let's go look at a more complicated one. So now we're going to look at storage and flooring. And I have chosen to go after multiple products, right?
Yeah.
So we got garage flooring. And then if you actually look at the keywords, I'm probably a little too broad on my keywords in the sense that too many flavors are being shown with the same ad. So in this case, the flavor of flooring they want is called epoxy, right? It's called that grape soda, right?
Yeah.
And then floor coatings would be orange soda,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes with local small markets, it's not as advantageous to split it out so much because then your ad never freaking shows. Like you've got 5 versions of an ad or several versions of an ad and only like, I don't know what time frame this is, but only 266 people looked for that flavor, right? This is the last 30 days. So I don't know. I probably should break it out, to be honest. 266 is a fair amount of people, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is epoxy. Sorry, let's coatings. Yeah. 639. That is enough to justify. I could create a whole new ad group called coatings and then make sure my ad says coatings. And then I could clone my landing page and make sure it says coatings.
Yeah.
And I will likely get a higher click-through rate on my ad and a higher conversion rate on them filling out the form, right?
Yeah.
So as you'll know, with marketing, you can get busy and not do what you know you need to do, right? And this is a case of that.
Totally.
We've gotten actually tied up on a few other things that they've been doing. In fact, they're adding other services right now. So we're building up pages and other stuff when really I could get in here and I could optimize more. But honestly, most of this was done the same exact way I used to do it back when I worked at Gorgeous Garage. And I've taken it over and just not gone and innovated more. Like the fact they didn't innovate more was kind of where I left off 7 years ago when I left the company, you know, and then I don't know why they didn't innovate more. But let's look at an ad. Let's see how screwed we are in my scenario. Like if I click on the ads, you can see we've actually tried a bunch of different ads.
Wow.
Let's see if I can click here on status. Get the ones that are actually running up here. Okay. Edmonton's epoxy garage flooring. So if somebody searched coatings, that would not be as great of experience.
No, if that was me, I'd go right past it.
So yeah, so you can, well, it depends, right? Because if the competition's doing the same dumb thing,
Sure.
then maybe you're gonna have to click something
Sure,
anyways,
that's true.
right?
But if there was something else there that said coatings.
It would be more
and-
logical to click
Yeah,
on it.
I'd find that one and say, this one says coatings. And
Yeah.
That's what I looked for, but yours doesn't say it there, so.
So we might see it in coatings, garage floor coatings. It actually has a high click-through rate, higher than some of the epoxy ones.
So they're still clicking on
So they're still clicking on it, which is good. And that's part of the reason that somebody probably didn't innovate in the past, because they're like, oh, it's good. But could it be better? Yes, it could have been better. In fact, it might even be huge percentages better once I create that. But you can see it on the keywords,
Yeah.
right? Like you can actually dive in and see. So I don't know if you're starting to put 2 and 2 together. You're going to have some more things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to look at the keywords. You're going to have to write some new ads, right? You might have to make more landing pages, most definitely, right? And you're going to have to watch those flavors of keywords, right? For sure. Okay.
I don't understand why businesses hire people to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a system and it's not that hard. If somebody would just put it as a nesting doll for you, you'd be able to see it a little clearer and be like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, and somebody like me walks you through it, holds your hand and say, hey, what's happening here is somebody is in Mesa. They want a garage floor, but the flavor they wanted was orange soda and you gave them Sprite. You messed up. You know what I mean? Like you didn't give them orange soda with vanilla. That's messing up. You really messed up. You know what I mean?
Same family, it's citrus, but they orange.
Yeah. There you go. Right. So that's where people get hung up, because you can make as many ad groups as you want or campaigns as you want. You can justify the reasons you want, but then you could like have 10 visits a month clicking on ads, and then you'll never get any data whether one ad's better than the other. And you just get bogged down. You're like, what do I do? What do I do? When all you really need to do is the guy in Mesa wants to see in the ad Mesa, he wants to see the flavor he searched, and he wants to land on a page that has an offer about what he looks for in the flavor he searched.
Oftentimes, isn't it? Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one.
Yes, yes. So you can get more complicated and succeed, or you can be as lazy as this person was, and I haven't gone and fixed it, and you probably will still succeed because maybe your competition didn't innovate. But I'm betting that 11.27% conversion rate or click-through rate will be higher. And I'm betting that the conversion rate will definitely be higher if somebody gets in there and innovates just a smidge more. And then once again, overall, the overall numbers will be lower cost per lead or sale, more customers. You would feel more comfortable putting more budget into it because you know that you're getting more out of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so now let's make it more complicated. You guys ready? All right, when you see an ad, sometimes you see other things in the ad that take up more space. That is called an ad extension. All you can do is give Google information in an ad extension, and Google will choose whether it will show it or not. So think of it as an appendage to your ad. Your ad takes up a certain amount of space. The ad extension takes up more space. There is a way to analyze and see how good is an extension at helping you get higher click-through rates, more people clicking on it. But you can see some of these ones right here that are a little lower down aren't showing as many ad extensions. I don't think this has any. This one has a payment extension, I think, or not payment, like I don't know, you can spell out different things in your extensions. So here's how you look at your extensions. This is something you might want to do every quarter, right? Like if you're organizing your mind, ads are every couple weeks or month. Keywords are probably once a week, every 2 weeks. Ad extensions are probably once a quarter. Same as general settings like your budget and your target area and your structure, right? Because you could totally split out and now have a Mesa one and other parts of Phoenix one, right?
So quarterly, we got
Yeah,
budget,
ad
keywords,
extensions,
target area, and
Ad extensions.
extensions.
Mhm. So you can
keywords,
see right here, if you click on ads, they put it under ads as an extension. Because think about it, your ad is to get somebody to click, the extensions also to help them click.
picture with all these things.
Yes. So luckily, we added pictures recently. I didn't do that. I actually hired somebody that used to be my intern to do it. I'm so glad he did it. Because we can see here, if I can actually close this a little bit, we can see here that it's getting a 9% click-through rate. And if we go back to some of our other ads, they weren't getting as high a click-through rate as 9%. There were some getting more, but there were some getting less. So chances are, especially if you compare different ad extensions, in this case, this is a site link, only 5% click-through rate. Images are 3%. These images, whichever ones they're choosing to show, are 3% better at getting me a click to my website.
That's definitely something, speaking as, a consumer, I've noticed whenever I'm actually looking for something, if I see an ad that actually has a picture and it looks like something that I'm looking for,
Mhm.
that immediately catches my interest.
So the ad images are an extension.
Yes. Mhm. It's a recent one they've given us.
Yeah, I don't
Whenever they
remember
give you something new, jump right on it because it will most likely work. So for you, so here's a call out extension. It's saying like 1 to 2 day installation, free quote. Remember, people want to know the answer to the common questions, right? So like when I created a little garage company locally, I put pricing on my website. I spelled things out, like people loved it. In fact, they were willing to buy from me even when I only had 1 or 2 reviews, right? Because I spelled stuff out for them, right? So one of my favorite things is just go look at other people's ads, mimic, copy, rip off what you want to do. Same with the ad extensions, innovate on your own a little bit. In this case, they did a structured snippet spelling out neighborhoods. I've never done that before. It's not really working so great. So I probably wouldn't think the juice was worth the squeeze. But a call extension where I show the phone number, that adds some trust. I'm surprised it's only a 3%, right? Location is usually better. Location extension, especially for like a dentist office, that's probably going to be huge. Like it's probably going to be a lot higher click-through rate
Yeah.
than somebody that just does garage
So
makeovers.
you're like, I know where that is. I drive past it almost every day on the way to work.
Okay. All right, you ready to go another layer of toughness?
Let's dive,
Wow.
baby, let's dive.
You can do ad extensions at the flavor level, an ad group. Or you can do it at the campaign level, the whole campaign. Right? So if somebody's searching for epoxy floor, and I could have a campaign about epoxy floors in Mesa, and then I could have an ad group with different flavor, multiple ad groups. So I could have epoxy or coatings, right? And then within those ad groups, I could make my extension say, we have these types of coatings, right? Or I could have say, we have this type of epoxy, right? And that would probably get me a higher click-through rate. But once again, is the juice worth the squeeze? In that case, probably not. I wouldn't go to that level. So most of the
you're
time,
talking like colors and different things of the epoxy.
potentially, but I'm talking more like even just the flavor, like straight up Mountain Dew has 3 different flavors or 5 different
Okay.
flavors, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if somebody said Code Red to me, I think that's a flavor they've had, right? Sorry.
Sorry, thank you.
Okay.
Very quick. First 2 ones that we made that were different. It was the original, and we made Livewire and Code.
Okay. All right. So if I wanted Code Red and it wasn't in my ad, I might get a little pissed. But if it at least said Mountain Dew, I'd be less pissed, right? So sometimes you just have to say it's not worth it. Like I just need a certain amount of people actually clicking on my ad so that I can decide whether an ad is good or bad. And the way I decide is if there's a couple percentage points between either the conversion rate or the click-through rate, right? Like one's getting 9%, one's getting 3. I just pause the 3, try a new one. And there's a million different ways to do that. You could change just the headline. You could change whatever. But now the biggest thing that's going on now is Google is basically knowing that we're lazy and saying, when you create an ad, go ahead and create like 10 different titles, 10 different subtitles, 10 different several different descriptions. And we'll just try them and we'll just serve the best one.
Plug and play. Let's see how it goes.
But that kind of sucks because once again, Google won't tell you which one got the best. So you're kind of in the same boat as the Smart Campaign. However, they have allowed us to say, I want this title to always show in the first position, this one to always show in the second. So you could theoretically start to whittle down what is working and what isn't by defining those or
Okay.
serving less options. I, for the most part, haven't found the juice worth the squeeze. I just put a crap ton of titles and descriptions and let them just serve it. And you can call me lazy because I consider myself the 80% marketer. I'm getting my client the 80% result that they're paying me 20% for. Sometimes that's how it feels,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And I am just not willing to go the extra 20% mile.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to think that way. I want you guys to think, here's how I could succeed. And if I get paid enough to succeed, I won't be lazy like Jason. I'll go ahead and I'll create some new,
Jason, you're
I'll
amazing.
go create some new, campaigns or ad groups
You're
or ad
amazing,
extensions, all things.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well, the last thing I'll show you guys is just in the campaign. That's where you set some really important settings. You're usually not in the right spot if you click on settings and you're not seeing what you need to edit. Okay, so I tried to go back to the campaign, click settings, and if it would load, sorry, I'm getting a little frustrated about it. Okay, you can see that I am targeting English speakers. I'm targeting a radius around a certain radius. Right? Okay.
Canada.
Oh, Canada. I love these guys that live up there, by the way.
That's great.
Awesome. This is my budget. But there's like stuff we need to dive in next time. We're like, what should I be optimizing for? Am I trying to get more conversions or am I just getting better click through rate? Like, let's dive into these settings more next time. But you know, there's settings definitely at this level, the campaign level, and
That
like
impact.
that really matter. Like for instance, this makes, if you go in here, it makes you feel like you're not showing up on Google if you don't click both of these boxes. But if you click these boxes, you'll waste your money.
Mhm.
So don't click these boxes because you're showing up on Google search. You're just not choosing to show up on other people's websites. Or when you type in bobsmob.com and it has a bunch of links to click, that is a Google network site, you know, and I don't want to show there. It doesn't seem to work out. So sometimes they try to bundle too many things and then it just kind of screws you a bit.
Yeah.
And that's how they hide it. So we'll go in through the settings, but you now know about campaigns, you know about flavors, ad groups,
Mhm.
and you now know about keywords, right? You know about ad extensions and the ads, right? You know how I would optimize and how often I would optimize. You know how I generally judge things, whether it's the click-through rates or the conversion rates. And the last thing I would say with keywords is just you can say these are the words I want to show up for, but if you hit search terms, these are the words you truly showed up for. So sometimes if you like search through here in the last 30 days or whatever, you might see something and go like, I don't want to show up for garage strategies. But if I try to make garage strategies native keyword, it's not really going to help that much. There was only 30 searches a month.
Mhm.
I might want to just make strategies a negative keyword, right?
Yeah,
And you might actually look at the data over here, right? And be like, nobody converted from that. And I might change the time frame to like all time and be like, nobody ever converts from garage strategies, right? And I already know nobody does because I know this industry well. What the heck is garage strategies? Why are we showing up for garage strategies? Stupid Google, right? So now you click on negative keywords, and then I love to add them at the campaign level, not the ad group, but I'll probably talk about why you might do it at the ad group level later. Not this one. This one for sure. I don't give a crap if anybody ever search strategies. We're not selling garage flooring strategies or stuff, right? So I do it at the campaign level and I hit save. But just so you know, I have been using lists sometimes. Oh yeah, once again, I took this over from my old. So it's not on there, but dang it. Okay, we might talk about lists later. That can be useful, but if I hit save here, I know I'll never show up for any variation of any search that says the word strategies. I might also type in strategy, right? Because it didn't, excuse me, it didn't have that. G, did I spell that right? I think I did. Okay. Right, so that's my favorite way of dealing with negative keywords because my least favorite way is to keep seeing that variations of the word strategy show up and I should have paused it 5 years ago. Right, I've had like clients where it's HVAC repair, so somebody's searching for like a specific part, but they also are searching for like a car HVAC part.
Ah,
And so I've gone and downloaded lists of like all makes and models of all cars. And I've added lists of like make it negative. So I just never show up the next time somebody's searching for a part. But you would only see that if you actually went and looked in the see search terms report, because that's what you're truly showing up for. Search keywords, that's what you've told them you want to show up for. So we'll dive into a lot of nuance because I don't know if you noticed some of the keywords have like pluses and other dumb stuff next to them, or they have brackets and there's other nuances, but for the most part, the money is made in setting it up the campaign correctly, showing that having your flavors correctly, having your keywords, making sure your ad has your flavors, making sure your landing page has the flavors and has a compelling offer and answers common questions. And then when you want to get more clicks, you have ad extensions that might even spell out more things like, remember, it said free quote, 1 to 2 day installations, answering common questions, gets higher click-through rates, a lot of them. So
that's awesome.
nice.
any final questions before I run?
Dude, that was
Oh, we gotta get
amazing.
you out the door.
Thank you.
This
That's-
is great.
That's a heck of a lot of YouTube videos I didn't have to watch.
Yeah.